Hey guys, it's Bailey. Welcome back to the channel and thanks for tuning in to a video that is finally going to be all about those IKEA Alex drawers you see back there. I just customized them and that's what this video is going to be about. It's easily the second most asked questions I get ever since I customized them, next to what is on your nails. That is still number one. And it's still always press-ons. So since I always talk about press-ons here in the channel, I figured it was probably time to address that back there. But honestly, the reason I haven't, and I really had no plans to make a video about them, is because frankly, they look better blurred in the background. There were some things that I should have done during the transformation process to make them a little less rough around the edges, but I figured that in telling you what I did to transform them like that, I would also give my tips and tricks, things that I would have done differently to make them a little bit more close-up worthy. So let's go ahead and dive into it. So to start, these are the IKEA Alex 9 drawers, the official makeup storage sponsor of every makeup blogger, vlogger, whatever. Not really, but I got these because in looking at how other people store their makeup collections, their growing and or larger makeup collections, this seemed like the best and most efficient way to do it in a way that I could easily find my makeup. And that seems to be the case mostly. Overall, I would generally recommend these. I wish there was more built-in storage, but you can obviously put organizational inserts in them for that. And occasionally the bottoms can be a little bit flimsy depending on how much weight you're putting in these drawers, but for the most part, they are surprisingly durable. I have had some of them for up to 5 years. I kind of slowly, well, not so slowly, but I acquired them as my collection grew, so they're not all the same age, but all of them have been through a lot of moves. I mean, like at least 4, maybe even 5. I can't even count at this point. The bottom line is they've seen a lot of moves, and the funny thing is we haven't even unpacked them for most of them. I did the first time we moved them ourselves, but then we had packers and movers another time, and they just put some stuffing in there, like insulated it so the makeup didn't rattle around, wrapped it in saran, the whole unit in saran wrap, and then wrapped that in a blanket so the outside didn't get dinged up, and I'll be darned if everything didn't arrive in one piece, like not one broken shadow. So these are surprisingly durable given the price tag. So just wanted to share that in case you hadn't purchased these already and were considering them for yourself, potentially for your makeup collection. So like I said, I've had these for up to 5 years and was getting a little tired of the all white aesthetic. Plus, it really grabs on to, given that it stores makeup, can kind of hold on to stains, you know, your fingers, things like. If you deal with makeup a lot, do you find you leave fingerprints everywhere? Like, I keep makeup wipes to wipe my hands off, but it's like, I can't have white things anymore because it's all just stained with makeup. Tell me I'm not alone. So I needed to change, but I am not really a DIY person. I wanted to keep it super simple because although I love watching people customize DIY things, I wouldn't consider myself especially crafty. So to keep it simple, I figured I would just slap a coat of paint on them and add some hardware. To start with the paint, I just went to Home Depot or Lowe's, I think it was Home Depot, and I talked with them a little bit about what I needed. I don't think they understood what I meant by that these have like a glossy or lacquered exterior. In asking them, my thought was that if I put paint on that, it's just gonna scrape or flake right off because it lacked any sort of surface finish for it to cling to. But they said no, it should be good, and instead they gave me this Bare Premium Plus paint and primer in one. I will put the color of this down in the description box. I think it's S530-6 Extreme, but I don't actually know how to read this label, so I have no idea. I also did not need this much paint. This is a 3.5 liter and I have 3 drawers back there. Way too much. Could have done with half of it, maybe even less. And that includes the touch-ups that I'm going to have to do because it turns out I should have done a little bit more to prime. The reason I haven't shown these up close and personal is because there are some streaks on it, like it lays a little bit unevenly, some drip marks. It has started chipping and flaking in the not sensitive parts, but like if my nail or if something kind of dings the side of these drawers back here, you can see where the paint is already chipping off and stuff. So unfortunately, something tells me I will have to go back, potentially even scrape all of these off and apply a primer and or totally strip the finish off the front of these because I'm not really happy with the way the paint is laying over top. Looks great from afar, but not so much up close. I also wasn't a big stickler for detail. I taped off the trim that you see is still white back there, but you'll also be able to see on the sides of the drawers, I did not tape those off and I didn't really take the care to avoid getting paint on those. So I am sure to keep those drawers closed. Otherwise you can kind of see the raw edges where the paint meets that white edge over there, and it's just a little bit messy. So I would have either fully painted those or taped them off so that they didn't didn't have that rough edge. Then, like I said, the only other thing I did was install hardware. I got these brass bar-shaped fixtures off of Amazon. I will link those down below if you're interested. But I'm pretty pleased with how they look, especially against the contrasting navy blue back there. While I got the paint at Home Depot, I also picked up a little tool that they have for installing hardware so you can match up exactly where the holes go depending on the size of the hardware that you have. We still have to install our hardware on pretty much every cabinet in the house, so I figured it was a pretty solid, sound investment anyway. But I will say it was my first time installing hardware, and you can totally tell there's a reason that I selectively try and control which drawers I feature up here, because some of them are a little askew. They're like not quite straight, which I will say is hard to do with these these drawer sets in general, because they have a cutout for your hand as a pull anyway, so it's kind of hard to set the particular tool I picked up for installing the hardware. It's kind of hard to get it set in there without it moving around as you're trying to find out where those holes go. So that was a challenge. Some of them turned out a little bit crooked, but for the most part it wasn't too bad. There are also a few others. Luckily they're farther down on the drawer. They're some of the first holes that I drilled, but there are some there where it just doesn't quite match up, both of the holes, so one is just like hanging. I'll show, you'll see in the close-ups. It's hilarious, and once again, the reason why I don't show these up close in videos, because they're a little rough. But all that said, I like them. I really like the final result. Yes, I learned some things along the way, but hopefully this video and telling you how I did them myself, you can learn from my mistakes, and if you decide to customize your IKEA drawers, will have a better end product than me for knowing all of this. So that's all I have to say on these guys. Let me know if you think I left anything out, have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye guys!